What's up, YouTube? Your boy is back with another video, and it feels like I've been saying this a lot, but I've been gone for a while, and I know that. So there's a lot to that story, and I owe you that explanation from last time. Well, I gotta get this thing set up, you know. Just flip that. Yeah, that's perfect. Nope, it's not perfect. There we go. That's perfect. Somewhere around there. We're good. Um. So my living situation is very complicated. So that's not helping anything at all. So that has majorly a lot to do with it, and I'm trying to get my life started. I got a lot of goals and I'm trying to achieve, and it's not fully developing yet, not like I wanted to. So I've been trying to work on that, and it's been stressful. But I want to talk to you guys about a few things, and I feel like this is my communication. You know, I don't know if you guys agree with things that I say, but this video isn't about anybody else but really me, like kind of how I feel. Um, Life is very tough, and a lot of people say that not really realizing how tough it is. And I'm not saying that, you know, you don't know how tough it is. It's just people that I know, they don't really seem to understand the full gravity of it, especially because a lot of them have their their lives already set up, you know, so it makes everything a lot more difficult, and it's frustrating. So a lot of times a lot of different things happen to us, and it's hard to kind of get back from it. But when you're low on funds, when you don't have necessarily a place to live, when you are on the bottom of the bottom, it's good because you can always go up. That's the only direction. But in this world, it's not the case. It could always go worse. So a lot of different things have happened to me in the past year, you know. Um, and like I said in my last video, or my first video, um, about losing somebody, you know, my dad was a big influence on my life, and it wasn't just negative. In that video, I didn't talk about the positive side of me and my dad's relationship at all. I left it completely out, and that wasn't for like on purpose. I just didn't want to draw attention to it, you know, because that's not what that video was for. It was mainly about my grandma, who had just passed, and you know, I didn't want to mix those two up because she's just as important. So this video isn't going to be just focusing on that aspect of things, you know, not just my dad, but he was a big part of me, and I feel like I've lost my other half. And when you have that feeling, it's hard to come back from it. You know, it's there's no real kind of foolproof thing where you can just move on from it. So it's kind of tricky because as I was like, even as a kid, I mean 9 years old, I always wanted a wife and kids, a family to provide for them no matter what. You know, and a lot of people that know me know this to be true. I mean, it's not something that I'm shy about at all. It's a part of me that's definitely influenced a lot of the things I do. It's just it's hard to get up, you know. But like I always tell you guys, that's why I say, you know, keep positive, keep moving forward, because it's hard to do that. It's so hard, you know, and having somebody to push you to, you know, sometimes you need that, just that extra push. And if I can be that push, then heck yeah, you know. For me, I don't really have that push, you know. I don't have anybody that's really like right there, you know. I have people, don't get me wrong, like my subscribers, love you guys, thank you so much. You know, you guys are my support, you know, and that's why I'm making this video. I'm trying to get back in it. I'm trying to do this every day again. Hopefully, you know, there's a lot of things that have been happening, and frankly, I need help, you know. And I think as a young man, you need to be willing to learn that lesson of asking for help when you're young, you know, and not have a proud complex. And I definitely don't. I don't have that complex because I know I need help. And just in my situation, you know, and it's not easy, but there's a lot of things that this world does to keep us down. There definitely is. There's so much things that keep us in this bubble, and it's hard to expand that bubble or even want to get out of it, get to that comfort zone, you know, and it's hard, especially when you're in this confined like lifestyle. And for me, there's a lot of things that I wanted to do. I wanted to go back to school. I need money, I needed income. You know, I need a full-time job, actually something that can bring in, you know, constant thing. This is nice, and I definitely hope this comes into something big, but for right now, you know. And then there's also living arrangements, you know. Right now I'm staying at a hotel, so, you know, it kind of, it's difficult, to say the least. So I try to put a plan in order to get all these things in order, and it's kind of like one avenue that really would do this for me, you know, and that avenue ain't really going through. And I procrastinated a lot, you know, and I feel like a lot of people can relate to what I'm about to say. I procrastinated a lot because I was afraid of the person I was going to become on the other side. I was going to take this journey, and I knew when I come out of that journey, it's going to be a new me. There's going to be a new person in front of me, and it's like meeting somebody new for the first time. You know, I know that is a realization that I had to come to grips about. You know, I had to realize that this is something that needs to happen. And the bad part about this is that I realized way way too late, and that's nobody else's fault but mine, you know, and it's kind of difficult, to say the least. So, as I've already said, but I'm still pushing. Thus the video. It's tough because I'm in a cycle, and without help from others, it's going to be very hard to break this cycle. And that's not on anybody else to do. And I try to keep a very open mind, especially when talking to others. It's hard though, because you really find out who your friends are when you're on the bottom of the bottom. And I've had a lot of people help me, you know, to be the man that I am today. And I have all this opportunity, all this potential, knowledge, whatever. But it doesn't do anything if you're stuck in the same place. You know, it doesn't mean anything. I mean, what is it really accomplishing? You having this knowledge, this potential to be something, and if you're not doing anything with it, it's not doing anything for you. Or anybody else for that matter. And that's the kind of predicament I was in for a long time. And when I finally realized that I had to break the cycle, it was too late. And even to major extremes, you know, leaving me homeless, leaving me on the bottom, you know. And those days aren't over. I know they're not, you know, not being on the bottom. And there's various forms of being on the bottom. You know, there's plenty. Life makes sure of that. But at the end of it, I don't want to be late for my chance. You know, as a kid, I always wanted to be first in line. I always try to push to be center of attention, have my time, you know. And when my time actually came, which my dad told me, he said, you know what, wait, your time will come. And when it did, at first, it was okay. I was doing okay. I had a job when I first turned 18, and it was okay. And then things just kind of fell apart. And I think a lot of people can relate to that. Sometimes life just hits you with this whirlwind, and before you realize it, you're at a position where you're just like, fuck. And that's where I am, honestly, you know, and it's not easy to get into that situation and get yourself out of it, you know. And like I said, unless you have like a really loving, supportive group, and not even just supporting, but it's people that can actually make moves, make action for you happen, not even just with money, but with opportunities. It's really hard. If you don't have those things, if you don't have people to help you with that, if you don't have it on your own, you know, it's hard to get yourself out of this situation. You're in this cycle, I said, you know, and that cycle is in fault of mostly me, you know, and that is because I waited so long. And realizing that tears me up more than anything, because it's like I knew, and I still know, my potential of being somebody someday, you know, whether it's through this ugly version of me standing in front of this camera and doing YouTube, or being in a career that really makes me feel it, that I love to do. And whether it is going to happen or isn't, I don't know. But I hope it does, and I'm going to keep working towards it. But it's hard to do that, and my father was my best friend. So when I lost him, it threw everything off. My motivation was gone. My voice, my push to do these things were gone. Everything, and the realization that my dad's not going to be there when I get married. He wasn't there when I had my first child. He's not going to be there when I have my kids. None of that, and that's something that haunts me every day, and it's not going to get any easier. And some days are actually worse than it when it actually happened, but I'm talking to you guys because you guys, I feel like I'm connected with. I honestly do feel like I'm connected with, and I'm sorry that I haven't put out as many videos, because I've had people ask me, like, I don't see that you've updated or had any, late videos. And I'm like, I haven't. I just been trying to deal with my issues through my own devices and different things like anybody else would, And it's not easy when you get to this point where you realize that you're stuck in this hole. And as you know from probably any movie, well, not any movie, but movies with kids falling in wells or anybody who can't reach and grab and pull themselves out, you need help, you need somebody on the outside to throw you down a rope, help you up, whatever the case may be, even if you're hanging off a ledge, and I don't have that necessary support, and it's very hard to get yourself out of this predicament if you don't have this support, and I don't. And I'm not blaming anybody, that's not what I want this message to be at all. This is completely on me, and this is definitely a message about realizing your true potential. Don't be late for it. A lot of people hold this stuff in, and they could be so much. And I know it's not easy. Trust me. Oh man, when you have your chance to actually shine, it's so not easy. It's not easy to necessarily find a job and try to get a car and start your life. My birthday's coming up in this month, and I'm about to be 20 years old, and I read my journal, and I'm in the exact same situation, if not, I'm actually in a worse situation than I was before. And knowing that really set me kind of off. I was just like, man, like, I had all this chance and opportunity, and I blew it, and it sucks. But as one of my friends reminded me last night, dwelling on things that can stress and worry you out isn't going to help you. But I think that it is good to dwell on it somewhat, because you need to realize your mistakes, and that's where I've come. I've come too easy with ignoring my true problems within me, my procrastination, my lack of motivation, and depression, plain and simple, And I never fully grieved over my dad's death, and I think that has a lot to do with it. I kind of just pushed it down, which didn't really help anybody, now that I think about it. And I'm stuck, guys, I really am. But you don't have to be. This is, like I said, this is a channel I want to be for positivity. We're going to have plenty of laughs, but I don't have the funds to kind of be, like, super creative. I have so many ideas. Like, when it comes to this channel, one thing you guys need to know is that, like, if I had enough money to, like, do this channel the way I want to do it, man, I don't even know what I do. Like, you hear me, I'm stuttering over here. My talking skills are pretty on point, not to try to give myself any credit here, but we all know my speaking skills are at least on point. That's one thing I'm proud of. So if it's making me stutter, the thought of having something accomplished in my life, and that's great, and YouTube is definitely that kind of thing. We live in a digital age where people follow and use social media to get in contact, to get in the know, to know this, know that. YouTube for music, different things, videos, laughter. We have all these outlets that we use for whatever we need. And they can be useful. And that's why I like doing YouTube, because I like talking and I like trying to help others, and I think this channel can be definitely that. So, all in all, guys, I'm sorry that I haven't been putting out as many videos as I need to, actually, at all, you know. And I'm sorry that the videos keep ending up upside down. Like I said, I think I covered that in my last, in my last video. They keep ending up upside down, and I don't really know why. Like I said, this is a tablet, so it's kind of hard to use. But I just want you guys to know that through all of this, I'm still going to be pushing. I'm still going to try to move forward. And even after this video, I'm going to be sitting here pretty much doing nothing and trying to find a different outcome, and I'm going to be lonely, frustrated, and sad. I know this is coming. But through those dark times can come the best of times. And that's what I'm hoping for. I've had a lot of dark times, so I'm kind of tired of them, and I'm waiting for a good thing to happen. But your life is what you make it. It truly is. And I take full responsibility for my life and everything that has happened, and I'm going to try to make the most out of it. So, overall, guys, like I always say, stay positive, keep pushing forward, do your best, alright? I know it's not easy, but it's going to be worth it in the end. And I'm hopefully going to be putting out more videos. So, until then, guys, take care.